out of the spotlight, but always stealing it. The gift that keeps on giving, the boy mums of TikTok. Welcome to the 1666th episode of my series on the boy mums on TikTok who just can't seem to not be creepy. May just be my last video for 2024. Could you? Oh my god. Possibly my last video for 2024, and it's me just ragging on the boy mums who cannot seem to let their sons be just that, their son and not their mini husband. Being a boy mom is like the slowest breakup I've ever known. Does she know? Does she know she is not in a romantic relationship with her toddler son? One thing that confuses me about this font of boy mum is the fact that they don't seem to really understand or get it through their heads that using this kind of language has heavy romantic undertones. I never see this kind of stuff being said from a mother's perspective who has a daughter. And I'm sorry, for me to believe that this is not weird, I'd have to be seeing the same exact language being used for their daughters too. Because interestingly enough, a lot of these mums have daughters as well, but don't seem to acknowledge them in the same way that they do with their sons. As someone who isn't a mum whatsoever, not a boy mum, not a girl mum, I've got one girl, one boy cat, Susie and Kenny, you guys know them. What exactly causes a mum to act this way? Can't you guys just accept that some families are different from yours? Emotional incest. She just loves her son, and she's sad to see him grow apart from her. There was nothing sexual about this post. Emotional incest. Get a job. So, as somebody with a job, this was spoken like a true boy mummy. How exactly is this toddler, quote unquote, growing apart from his mum when he can't even potty on his own? This mother is quite literally presenting an unhealthy attachment to her son, which in turn will hurt him more than anybody. And I know these boy mums, they just love to act like they're doing absolutely nothing wrong by referring to their little boys as their miniature husbands, but you're setting up a really unhealthy dynamic between you and your son, and I refuse to believe otherwise. And it's not just an experience of mine that I've had, and it's not just many of your experiences that you sent over to the Drama Queen Submissions email that makes me believe that what these mums are doing is quite toxic to their children, their sons. But, you know, maybe saying that this post was is going a little too far, just considering, by the way, that many people are in relationships and they don't have mattress action. But is it highly inappropriate nonetheless? Yes. My ex's mum once told me having a son is like having a boyfriend that doesn't like you. Wow! Oddly enough, this sounds so familiar. Yes, as you guys know, at one point in time, I had to deal with a boy mum. I know, crazy, isn't it? And that was one of the reasons that turned me away from this person, because I'm like, I don't really want to have to compete with your mum. Not that I should be competing with anybody in the first place, but if I'm only going to feel like I'm never going to be good enough, then I'm good off that. Go date your mum. It just saddens me how many parents treat their children as though they're a romantic partner, mostly due to the fact that their actual partner is emotionally absent. They're emotionally unavailable. And whilst that is a huge issue, maybe we should not be projecting that onto toddlers. I'm raising a son that your daughter will be safe with, but I'm also making sure no scrubby, fast-ass, little thirsty heifer is taking advantage of him either. You should always teach your children self-confidence and remind them of their self-worth so that the chances of them being taken advantage of by a romantic partner in the future is slim to none. But there's also a fine line between making sure a thirsty heifer doesn't take advantage of your son's goodwill, but also allowing him to have his own personal discernment about his own life. Because one thing that I think some parents can fail on, whether they're a boy mom, girl mom, parents, whilst you can be skeptical and very aware of the kind of person that your adult child is dating, at the same time, it is up to them to have their own autonomy and quote unquote find out for themselves. Because what a lot of parents tend to do is they'll see this new person in their child's life, their grown child's life, mind you. I hate this person because they are taking up my child's time that could be spent with me. And it's like, are you guys aware that when you bring children into this world, you are raising them so that one day they go out into the world on their own and make their own decisions? Because I've seen a lot of parents who will be like, wow, my son is being taken advantage of because his girlfriend asked him to go fill up her water bottle. I mean, she has legs, she can go do that herself. And it's like, you guys are insane. And we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is referring to women as heifers, you This mum is kind of teaching her son to not respect women that doesn't pertain to his likes. So for example, if a heifer starts dating her son, then she's going to be upset by that because why? Because she's fat and you think your son deserves better? That's genuinely unhinged shit, bro. You as a woman should not be degrading other women based on the fact that maybe you don't want to be fat. Maybe you don't like the look of it. Well, I don't care. Using the word heifer to refer to a woman's looks is disgusting, and it's shit that I've heard in Xbox parties. She literally could have just said, I don't want no scrub taking advantage of my son, and that would have been fine. But no, in your imaginary little fantasy, it's a fat woman who's taking advantage of your son. Go to therapy. Yet it seems to not really be about that. It seems to be putting down women who aren't as good as you. When your son thinks he's slick on Snap, but he's in love with her and it's actually me on my fake account because you can't play a player. So what happens when a certain photo gets sent to you, mum? Or is that the goal here? It's really concerning to me just how normalized this boy mum behavior is, because the amount of videos I have on this topic just goes to show you that so many people operate in this fashion, parents at that. And let's not be stupid here. We all know the inherent use of Snapchat. Yes, I know there are some people out there who are watching this who have Snapchat and uses it for its normal purpose, sending silly selfie. But a lot of the time when you're talking to somebody romantically on Snapchat, there are sussy images that are sent. Yeah, unfortunately, because time has shown us yet and yet again that if a young man thinks he is speaking to a young woman on Snap and they're both feeling each other and then she sends something and then he sends something back, red flag, red flag, red flag, Mumsy has just seen that. And so what exactly does she think that's going to resolve in? Her teaching her son about quote unquote internet safety when it wasn't even really about that. It was you trying to extract information from your son that he probably isn't telling you for a good reason. I know that a lot of parents want to know every single little thing that goes on in their child's life, but it becomes inappropriate at a lot of points. I don't know if this son is a minor or an adult, but either way, it is still inappropriate. And here's what scares me the most, right? It completely shatters this child's perception of the dynamics within the mother-son relationship. And now, not only is he grappling with that, but the trust is all lost. Not even just between him and the mum, but for every woman ever. And we do not want to be creating more woman-hating incels. And I mean, we just have to hope that this is some kind of sick joke made to generate likes and views, and not an actual occurrence that took place in real life. And again, I know that some parents out there do this to teach their kids about internet safety, but there are so many other ways you can do that and not try and get a explicit photo out of your kid. I honestly think Snapchat as a whole should just be banished, deleted, gone. Like, it is an app that does encourage sending certain kinds of photos, whether you're a minor or you're not. And again, that's what's really scary. I taught my son to never hit a woman, because I'll do it for him. Domestic violence is actually a very real problem. And just because in your little fantasy where your son has a tiff with his girlfriend, quote unquote, like a lot of y'all just are assuming sexualities, doesn't mean that you need to step in and physically hurt her. It is completely normal to want to protect your children, but it's a whole different other playing field when we're fantasizing about physically assaulting somebody. It is quite literally unhinged to have fantasies about your son's future issues with the opposite sex that he happens to be in a relationship with. Nowhere here did this woman state that if there is a woman who goes to attack her son, she's gonna attack her back, because in the event that happens, you need to report that incident. And posts like these invite really concerning people to the comments. Sorry, I'm a guy and beat the shit out of a girl for a good reason. For a good reason. We have no idea why this person was beat the shit out of, and I'm sorry, there isn't really a good reason. And look, it's a bit of a slippery conversation when we start talking about abuse and reactive abuse, right? Because, trigger warning, I do remember when I was having an argument with a person, and that person made me fear that they were going to hit me. Luckily enough, my wrists were grappled on really tightly like this until, you know, they did turn a bright red color. And I say luckily because, you know, who wants to be hit? You know, so that happened because, you know, I was flinching. You don't want anything to happen to you, right? So that's why I take these kinds of things extraordinarily seriously, because violence just never is the answer. It really isn't. And this mum should not be encouraging more violence by, I don't know, maybe in a situation she's talking about a woman who just hits her son for no reason and abuses him, right? We should be encouraging punishment where you go and report this incident, you get your son help, he gets out of that environment, and the woman reaps consequences for what she did. That's the best outcome that we could hope for, right? Because I know a lot of parents are out there like, well, you know, if anything happens to my kids, I would want to physically hurt them in the case that there is an abuse situation going on between partner and their child. But it's like you're causing them so much more trauma by doing that, and it really just isn't worth it at the end of the day. For me, had my parents done something to this person who reacted with what I'd say maybe soft violence, I don't know if that could be considered problematic or whatnot, but that would cause me so much more trauma. I would just rather process this incident, have people around me to help me get through it instead of even more violence, because that just causes so much stress. It causes so much anxiety, and a lot of the time, most of the time, if not all the time, it's just unnecessary. What you should be fantasizing over is that one day your son is going to be happy, not that you're going to rock up and cause issues for no good reason, because the insinuation here is that you're going to rock up to your son's girlfriend's house in her fantasy, in her little fantasy, okay, and bash her all because what, they had a little argument over the fact that maybe your son isn't pulling weight around the house. I don't know, like when you get into these kind of conversations, it can get really sticky, because at the end of the day, we don't know what this mum meant, but it still is up nonetheless. There's a special kind of sweetness only boy mums understand. It's the ears and the dirt, the dinosaur and bikes and sweaty sports gear and fourth helpings. It's the eyes that search for you, the head on your chest, the muddy kisses, the I love you mums, this is the love of your life. I clicked onto this woman's profile. She has a daughter and hasn't even posted anything like this about her. Like, it's just so tired at this point, dude. A lot of these boy mums need to get real with themselves and know that their sons will never want them in that way, okay? You can talk about all of these cute, intimate moments all you want, but he isn't the love of your life. A lot of parents refer to their kids as the loves of their lives, but it's like, no. You can certainly love them, but like that, the love of your life, is that not reserved for the partner that you have? Oh wait, they're not giving you attention, so you resort to the next best thing, which is your son. So with all that being said, everybody, I'm just gonna end it here, okay? Too much boy mum isms has got me, you know, really hot, and it's already really hot in this room because for some reason it is like 40 degrees outside Celsius, not Fahrenheit, okay? Oh, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't even know what that would be. So with all of that being said, everybody, have you ever had to deal with a boy mum on this scale before? Let me know down in the comment section below. I hope you all had an incredible Christmas, and if you're somebody who didn't have anybody to spend Christmas with, you're so valid, and I'm sending you so much love. And so come here actually. Give Mama K a hug. At this point, it's like I am a mum for almost 700,000 people, so I can accept that. People have always told me, like, you give off such big sister vibes. First of all, I'm the firstborn child. I am the big sister, so that's really cute of you, but at the same time, I mean, you'll be okay. You'll be okay, okay? Thank you for your stay at Yappersville today, everybody. I hope to see you again in the new year. If this happens to be the final video for the year, I don't know. Take care of yourselves, and most of all, love your fucking selves.